You are listening to Ramblings with Ravensfire. I am KL Ravensfire. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host,
Roxy.
And today we're going to be finishing up her ghost story. I assume we're finishing.
We'll see how long it takes because it's a pretty interesting story, but yeah. So we ended last week with
the rats.
With the rats and the weirdness and the
doors.
And the doors.
Yes.
And my mom's randomly ridiculous solution to the doors rattling.
Yeah, you were going to tell us what that solution was.
Yeah. So her bright idea was, well, we'll just take all the doorknobs off the doors, which for a preteen is kind of like, really, Mom? Seriously? But in her mind, she figured that the rattling would stop and she'd be able to sleep without the noise. Problem is that a door doesn't lock without a doorknob. So now you have a door with the hole in it so you can see the light through the hole.
And not to mention, can you imagine like seeing an eyeball staring at you through the door?
Well, as somebody who's always worried about seeing something where it doesn't belong, yeah, that was not pleasant. So again, to recap, you have to remember that my mom worked 3 to 11, so it was my responsibility to get my younger siblings homework done, fed, put to bed, stuff like that, and then I would go to bed and Mom would show up sometime in the middle of the night. We had these no door knobs. Now, I will tell you straight up, this did not stop the doors from swinging back and forth.
Well, of course not, because now there's nothing to actually hold them in place.
No, and honestly, does a ghost really need a doorknob? They might have trouble turning the doorknobs. I mean, in the movies they do, but these ghosts did not figure out how to use a doorknob. Now all they did is have it like, oh, hey, look, now I'll just go, wee, wee, and still scare the crap out of us, right? So to culminate this situation, what happened is because my mom worked 3 to 11, we had this somewhat bright idea that the hallway light, since her bedroom was across from my bedroom at the end of this hall, she would be coming in late at night and didn't want to wake everybody up. So we had replaced the light bulb in the hall with one of those really low light, like orangish red light bulbs, which, by the way, not creepy at all, right? Creepy orange, burnt orange, reddish
Sounds
light bulb.
Like the red light district.
It was really creepy, right? So, but it was definitely not bright white or even soft white bulb. It was a very low light so that now that we had the doorknobs off, it would not stop us from sleeping because we'd have this bright light coming into the bedrooms and preventing you from sleeping. So, orange light. You got to remember the orange light. Okay, so this last night that this all was happening, I went to bed like normal. I shared a room with my sister.
I don't know. I think I would have had 2 years of sleep deprivation.
Probably. It was serious. So I'm sitting here and something wakes me up. And my bed faces the door. I mean, directly where I was sleeping is directly across from the door. So if there's any changes, I'm going to see it, right? In my half-sleep addled brain, I wasn't sure what time it was, but I realized after the fact that it was too early. My mom was not home yet. And there was a light in the hall, which I had turned on, and I knew it was orange, but that light was white, not orange. And it was strange because I was hearing noise. And of course, my little heart is like, starting to pitter patter like crazy, freaking out, right? I'm like, okay. And then I'm realizing what I'm hearing is a thrumming noise, like a drumming, thrumming noise. And it's going thump, thump, like a heartbeat almost, but it wasn't. It was definitely a drumming noise. And this light, as this drumming started, got brighter and brighter and brighter as if something was coming down, but not like a flashlight. It was like the whole aisle, the whole long place was filling, this whole long aisleway was just filling with bright light and shining through the door. And my door was like propped open maybe 6 or 8 inches at that point, which I had closed it, but So, and as this light got brighter, the thumping started getting faster, like this, until you knew in your little lizard brain that once it sped up to a certain point and got bright enough that whatever was causing this was going to be visible. And I didn't want to know what it was. So I did the smart thing that all children do. I threw the blankets over my head and pretended it wasn't there. I did. I covered my little head and I said, not there, not there. Go away, go away. I don't want to see you. And I did that. And it took me about 10 minutes to get up the bravery to toss the blankets back over my head because I was still alive. And I was very happy. I was very happy I was still alive. And I threw the blankets off and the room was completely dark. There was no light on in the hallway.
So it just disappeared.
Yes.
It went out.
And eventually I got up the, gumption. I was like, I had to pee. Boy, did I have to pee, but I was too scared to get out. And I was like, well, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I was having a nightmare. Maybe Mom came home and she got, she turned off the lights. She turned off the lights when she went to bed, and I just like missed this. No, because I sat there wide awake in the dark, straining my eyes to see what the heck was going on. And I hear the front door unlock and open, and my mom comes in and she's like, why didn't you turn the light on in the hallway for me? I was like, okay. So I told her this story, and I think she thought I was a little bit cuckoo, but that's okay. But the strangeness finally culminated into there is something here that we do not want. And I don't know what else my mom was experiencing, but she decided that week that she was going to burn this Ouija board that she had been using. And I remember this very clearly. It was a nice summer day.
You actually haven't mentioned that she was using a Ouija board.
I did. She was contacting those two entities that
No,
had
you
really
just
weird names.
mentioned two entities.
Yes.
You didn't say you were going to pick up the Ouija board on a different story.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's, no.
But if you weren't there when she was using it. Then.
I have no idea what she was doing. I think she was trying to get them to tell her stuff. I have no idea. I'm going to end this story because I think we went far enough with the scary stuff. But the scariest part at the end of this was she tried to burn this Ouija board. And how she tried to burn the Ouija board is we went out into the driveway and she leaned it against the concrete wall in the driveway. And she lit it on fire. And it didn't want to burn. But it finally did burn, most of it at least. And when it did burn, and then she picked up all the little pieces that were left.
Was this a wooden one or a cardboard one?
No, it was cardboard. But man, I don't know what they put on that stuff back then with the chemicals. But she picked up all the leftover pieces that didn't burn, which were basically Yes and Ouija, and threw them in the trash. But the problem is when you burn something against a concrete wall, there's usually like burn marks and scorch marks from doing this. And they weren't random. It burned the image of a skull on the wall. And no matter how much we scrubbed that sucker, we could get that sucker off. And it was creepy. So every time we went outside, you saw this skull-shaped, horned, weird face in the wall. And that was like, yeah, we need to move, But Mom was like, whatever. It's just, I don't know why she's just stubborn, I guess. But the problem is about 2 weeks later, that damn thing showed back up at the house. Not burned, in the box, because she had the box still. She just burned the board. And she realized she still had the box. And she went and said, I still have the box. I'm going to throw it away. It was heavy. She opened it up. The damn board was in the box. The board was in the box. And I'm like, Mom, no, we need to move because this is not right. So, and then I'm going to end this in a really funny state. So years and years and years and years after this happened, and many weird things happened in this neighborhood since then, I was reading the news, the local news in LA, and something very strange happened in Los Angeles that never happens. There was a tiny tornado in LA County. And I looked, and this tornado, tiny little tornado, whipped through, landed, and completely destroyed that creepy, haunted-ass house in front of ours where we used to rent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The universe was mad at it. It was not a happy house. And I'm so glad that we left because I don't know how much worse it would have gotten.
And that is where we are going to end Roxy's story of growing up in a haunted house. But that is not where Roxy's story ends completely.
Yeah?
Well, I mean, many, many years now.
Yeah.
But for more of that later, come back to another episode. And this is where I will leave you and say goodbye.
Goodbye.